欢迎回到LiMA新闻世界，我是 Duki。接下来是每2周一次的国际专题单元——全球部落志，带您掌握世界原住民族动态。在今天的全球部落志单元，我们要首先为您介绍的是一位图博民族音乐学家，也是纪录片的导演阿旺曲培。阿旺曲培在1966年出生于图博，2岁的时候呢，跟着家人流亡到了印度，到了1995年才终于再回到图博，追寻着记忆当中由图博音乐所交织出的故土面貌。不过他却在同年的9月被中国政府以间谍罪名逮捕，在没有审讯并且不可与人接触的情况之下，就被判刑了18年的徒刑。而他的母亲呢，为了要把儿子救出来，大力的奔走，也因为母亲的坚韧不放弃，阿旺曲培的失踪还有被关的消息呢，终于是获得了国际人权团体、美国流行歌手、参议员的关注还有声援。历经6年多的时间，阿旺曲培才终于又重获了自由。而出狱之后的阿旺曲培，他再也回不去图博了，不过仍然努力的去继续他纪录片的拍摄，终于在2009年完成了纪录片《追寻图博之歌》，结合自身的经历，记录图博音乐，也记录受到中国统治的影响，图博社会中所出现的转变。我们现在就一起来倾听流离失所的图博人梦中的图博之歌。
And I was very convinced at that time that I want to make an educational documentary about Tibetan music. But then in the process, I had learned that the Chinese political influence on Tibetan music, and when I went to Tibet in 1995, I didn't only do research in Tibetan music, but I also want to uncover, how everything was destroyed and what is left. But then, during my research, I was arrested, and after I was spending 6.5 years in prison. When I came out, the story became very different. After I came out, I had observed so much, I have seen so much, that how China used music as a tool to brainwash Tibetan people and to prioritize their superiority. I very much wanted to share to the world that Tibetan people are beautiful. Tibetan music is beautiful. We have a very, profound and long history culture. But at the same time, the story of Tibet is very sad, and how it was crushed, how it was destroyed by Chinese Communist Party. Yeah. That itself, just being in India as a refugee, was always a reminder, like that China invaded Tibet, and yeah, we had brought statues or some clothings and some objects from Tibet, but I could not feel anything with those. But the music was something that brought me, In Tibet, Chinese, the Communist Party forced Tibetans to sing, Chinese music. So we had to include, what's happening, what had been happening with the music in Tibet. And there was no, as we said in the film, there's no natural progression of a society. There was never, in any form of, art, music, painting, poetry, literature. So it's, and also in China, there's everything is very much controlled, and you don't really see a work that is, created, artwork that is created in 100%, freedom atmosphere.
Hamdi torchi gamenji chiri sam da jan pandor jalop jo da je dan zo de sam de moshi zish.
It's music is a political, music is a political in its nature, but not in its kind of entirety. It's music is can influence, one of the most intellectual people in the world, whereas other science or other things might not be able to do it, but the music is a very powerful expression of human being.
되게 지마 머서츠까지 용어다다 용 워크노니다 머서츠까 그게 잠시도 런실한테요 아니 거기서 수천신 주 워진이도 혼데다 무하르고 주고는 주
An pogin metere sa jashal ka bjet ni. Tede shada yor bali, jashal ka bali. Ngame to su juyo bali.
The old Tibet I had imagined all my life was disappearing.
So even though we are resilient to preserve our culture, to voice our concern for our culture, but at the same time, as you have seen in the film, if you go to Tibet, everything is pretty much repainted, resung. In certain parts of Tibet, you won't be able to recognize that it's a Tibet city anymore. So we are resilient, but at the same time, so much has lost. It was China who introduced modernization in Tibet, so there's no other country. And Dalai Lama, and many Tibetans, like myself, we know that we cannot govern Tibet by ourselves. We need some help. So if we are able to govern Tibet by ourselves, we don't really have a military. We don't really have we don't really have anything. But there's every evidence that Tibet was a free nation, a sovereign nation, and there's no similarities between Tibetan and Chinese. We are two separate people. I think as long as we stay close to our culture, to what we believe in, that distinguishes, who we are as a, let's say, Amen tribe or Tibetan people, because we are different. As long as we remain close to our identity, I think there might be, if there is a chance that you will get your own autonomy, we have to be ready for that. But let's say if you get autonomy after 20 years, and then if you become like a Chinese or Taiwanese, it will not be very useful.